Assalamualaikum and a very good day to the panels and fellow friends. My name is Wan Mahira binti Wan Ibrahim from Polytechnic Ibrahim Sultan Johor, Malaysia, as a presenter to this mini research topic called Women Participation Issues based on Sport Tourism Event in Malaysia. This is overview of my presentation, starting with introduction, problem statement, objective, literature review, theoretical framework, research methodology, result and analysis, conclusion, and recommendation. Referring to United Nations World Travel Organization, one of the tourism industry with the quickest growth is sport tourism. Sport tourism is acknowledged as a crucial area of the travel industry that not only draw in stakeholder but also significantly boost for tourist earnings. People have developed an interest in sport tourism as a result of rising development, growing acceptance of event-based sport tourism, and growing awareness of an active lifestyle. According to Garib Zadeh et al. In 2023, major athletic occasions such as Olympic Games, football, rugby championship have evolved into powerful tourist attraction in and on themselves have a very positive impact on the host destination tourism image. Sport tourism could be megatrend in the postmodern world according to Malkowitz, Moscow and Poxco in 2018. This is the problem statement of this research when men typically make up the majority participant sport event rather than women due to the traditional belief. When it's happened, some previous study found a number of social, psychological, and personal factors have significant impact to the gender perception. For that, the objective of this study is to identify the component of women issue in sport tourism event, to explore the strongest issue and challenge of women participation in sport tourism event, and to suggest solution of facing issues in women participation sport event. The definition of sport tourism by Karen 2018 in his research said individuals who travel to the destination and take part in or watch the sport. We also know that sport tourism often focus to the activity intellectually and physical demanding. Humberstone in 2000 highlighted that men visitors typically participate than women because of physical ability and willingness to take a risk. Jackson and Henderson said in his research, women are overall more constrained in their leisure time than a man. For that, constraint model by Crawford et al. In 1991 have been referred by researchers to study about the intrapersonal, interpersonal, and structural constraint. But cultural constraint is came later when Henderson and Ainsworth defined as a cultural constraint as a traditional belief, physical characteristic in a particular race and religious. And Shinu and Floyd found in his research back in 2005, culture contributes strong implication for leisure theory. This is our theoretical framework adapted by Hua and Chiu in 2013 and Shinu and Floyd 2005 lists the variable of constraints in women issue in participation. This study aims the large number of population. Using the Craigie and Morgan table, at least 384 respondents answered the survey met that probably has an impact in this study. Unfortunately, only 130 survey form was distributed and answered due to time restriction and long-distance event. The study also used the convenience sampling technique, which is a non-probability sampling method where units are selected for inclusion in the sample because they are the easiest for the researcher to assess. So that the event of Twin City Marathon and KL City Half Day Marathon have been chosen by researchers to distribute the questionnaire. Survey consists 26 close-ended questions and 4 Likert scale, and the SPS has been used to analyze the data. The respondent demographic data is described in this section. Based on sample collected through distribution, The age category of 19 to 30 years is become most outnumbered respondent than others, and Malay races has become majority of participation of this research. For the reliability test, Cronbach alpha value shows all questions were asked to the respondent are acceptable and have a good interpretation. According to the general of thumb, the value of Cronbach alpha range above zero point 0.8 considered good and indicating a high level of internal consistency. D is the descriptive statistic of this research. The means of each item tested according to each variable presented in table. The item of intrapersonal and interpersonal constraint indicate mostly above 2.00 means most of the respondents agree with the item statement. Comparing to the interpersonal and intrapersonal constraint variable, all structural constraint and cultural constraints item has a mean above 2.00 that shows some degree of positively affects toward the women issue of participation in event sport tourism in Malaysia. MANOVA analysis being used to test different age of group to these variables. For the three variables, they have no age-related changes in the respondent perception, but instructional constraints shown each group of 40 years and above considerably impacted by structural limitations such as complaining about the location of the event and the event facilities. It's a perfect positive correlation coefficient value between IV and DV. When values shown between 2.96 to 3.15, meaning they have a very strong relationship between both variables. As the conclusion of this study made by researcher, the structural limitation become the primary barriers for the women participation in event sport tourism. Cultural limitation have an impact to this study because of the conservative concept is aggressively practiced throughout each region and it can consider a substantial component of leisure limit. And the last one, no age-related disparities in the approaches taken by respondents when participating in event sport tourism. In this regard, the recommendation of this study goes to the sport event provider as a guidance for them to make changes in future involving women participation. The data of this study also may facilitate the creation marketing strategy for multicultural audience and potential participants. On top of that, the result may contribute to advancing the potential relevance issue that may be faced by women in cultural belief societies. Overall of this study, Malaysian women participation issues in sport tourism has positive impact between variables. Relate to date, future research on sport tourism should consider cultural element as a significant variables to improve understanding behavioral decisions. That's all. Thank you for your attention.